How's it going? Welcome back to another great video with your host, The Savior. And today we're going to be taking a look at, believe it or not, I know this might be shocking to you guys, but another Sniper Elite game. Wow. I guess Rebellion are just sticking with the formula that works. The Sniper Elite games have been popular for a very long time at this point, for good reason. They are a lot of fun.
Ball is over there. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, it's one ball. Oh, yes.
But there is a problem with Sniper Elite, I do have to say, and that is simply the fact that this game hasn't evolved in goddamn years, okay? I mean years and years and years of it being exactly the same thing. That is the problem with the Sniper Elite series. I think a lot of people were starting to feel fatigued with it around 4, 5, there was a little bit of a step up with the graphics and more grand levels, similar to the recent Hitman games, but it never has truly evolved the franchise in any meaningful way. It's also very classic, kind of AAA or AA, I guess you could say, safe gameplay. You will have literally smudges on the wall, yellow paint galore, because remember, gamers, we can't think, we can't use our brains, we don't have any intellectual faculty, we just love to shoot stuff, okay? So, Sniper Elite is one of those games where it does hold your hand, in the sense that the level design is very restrictive, okay? It's not like Hitman where you can really invent and be creative with your kills and stuff like that. Sniper Elite is very formulaic in that regard, but the sandbox nature of the gameplay, of the actual sniping and how you handle the missions, if you want to go stealth or if you want to go full combat, over time, Sniper Elite has allowed for more of that type of gameplay, where they've made it a little bit more of a shooter, where now if you look down your guns, and it's not a sniper rifle, you can basically have, a first-person view and go in there and just mow them all down, although it's not recommended. So there has been some changes, but the core experience of Sniper Elite has remained the same for many, many years. So welcome back, my wonderful wise ones, to another great video. I'm excited to talk about this because I've been having a blast with the recent Sniper Elite game with me and my brother. We've been playing that, and it's just been a great time. It is funny. It's just a fun game because the physics of the enemies, how they kind of spaz out when you blow them apart. Maybe I'm a sick bastard, but I get joy in that. I find it very hilarious, okay? And the nature of the gameplay, having these big open levels and going in there, tackling it, screwing up, repeating it, that is fun. But this should be a DLC. I've got to be honest, this should definitely be a DLC. So today I'm going to be talking about Sniper Elite Resistance, okay? And I'm going to discuss the Sniper Elite Resistance reviews and predict what they're going to be. X-Ray Vision is the name of the game. And I understand a lot of people don't like that. I personally don't like that as well. But the good thing about Sniper Elite is it can be completely hand-holdy and very dumb. You can have super dumb AI, but there is a lot of customization with the settings. That's where I get a lot of joy out of it, and I'll talk about that more later. But today, I'm just going to be discussing the Sniper Elite Resistance reviews, what the gaming community is thinking about it, what the reviews are shaping up to be, and I will be dropping my early Sniper Elite Resistance review later today, so look out for that. But I'm just going to go over some of the gameplay features here and talk about, Sniper Elite as a franchise, dissect it, what we actually think about it, because like I said, with big games, I always like to do it in 2 videos before I give you my early review, because there's a lot to dissect, and there's always a big discussion around the game before it comes out, because we can't really trust previews anymore. We can't really trust the gaming industry because, trust me, I know how it works. A lot of it is paid off. A lot of it is, very small snippets of gameplay, so you can easily get a false impression. False marketing, that's just the name of the game these days. So we do need to dissect and analyze these games before they come out to make sure it's actually worth your time. So I do hope you enjoy this. If you are new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. Become a wise one today. Join this fantastic community. I'm so passionate about this. Like, everything that I do revolves around this channel and this community, talking with you guys. That's the whole fun of this. I literally had to move location today just to record, because that's just how much I love doing it and I'm just dedicated. So I really do hope you enjoy this video and you join the Wise One community if you are new. So Sniper Elite Resistance. This game is basically the same thing as Sniper Elite 5, and you could argue that, you know, that's on purpose, why nothing has changed, because it's supposed to be parallel with 5. But it doesn't really make sense that it's a standalone game. This could have easily been a big DLC, and I think people would have been happy with that, but this is trying to be its own thing. But the first thing that I've noticed with the hands-on gameplay that I've actually had access to is the fact that the levels themselves aren't as grand as 5, okay? They are still big, but they're not so developed in the ways that you can find different entry points and stuff like that. But it is very much more of the same with Sniper Elite 5, but this time around you play as Harry Potter. I mean, Harry Hawker, okay? A British gentleman. And basically what you do in this game is the same thing as the previous Sniper Elite games. You have a kill list target, a main assassination that you need to complete, and then you have other targets, side objectives, and there are a few new game modes in this with the multiplayer and stuff like that, but not much, to be honest. And the multiplayer is remaining the same with the invasion and all that kind of stuff. So if you really love the multiplayer and you just want new maps, and you're an absolute die-hard fan, and if you're a die-hard fan of Sniper Elite, and you don't care if it's more of the same, then of course you're gonna love this because it is just the same thing, but nothing whatsoever has changed gameplay-wise. I have to stress that. I think a lot of people are gonna be disappointed. I myself do think it should have been a DLC because nothing has changed whatsoever in the gameplay department. It's exactly the same graphics, exactly the same game mechanics, same animations, absolutely everything. Like I said, Sniper Elite has been doing this for a very long time, kind of recycling it. I am looking forward to Rebellion's new game, where they're trying to do something a bit more, grand and creative, kind of a Fallout style game. But Sniper Elite has always been, just a stable game franchise for them. A lot of people love them, but at this point I do feel just like Call of Duty, a lot of people are getting sick with it because it's not innovating whatsoever. It innovates less than Call of Duty, and I thought I would never, say that sentence because that's kind of crazy to me, but it's true. Sniper Elite has remained the same for too long at this point, and there needs to be new stuff added, a new engine, and something that makes this stand out compared to the previous Sniper Elite games. So I'm talking to you, men of culture, today. If you're the type of player who needs a little bit more satisfaction and you don't get that from sniping Nazis anymore, well, perhaps this might interest you. So, are you a man of culture? Do you want to test your skills as a CEO? A man of culture? Well, in VR Secretary, you can take on the challenge to become a CEO boss and basically progress through the ranks of your relationship with your secretary, okay? Now, this game might not be for everyone, okay? It's for people who are men of culture. I should also mention that this game is for mature audiences, okay? So do not let little Timmy glance a look at this masterpiece. Now, this is a VR only game, okay? And VR Secretary is all about you playing as a CEO, okay? Doing office tasks, going out on dates, and getting to know your lovely assistant. This game is all about getting to know your assistant and basically progressing that relationship forwards. It's kind of a dating sim / kind of management type game.
SpongeBob?
Hi, how are you?
What's the meaning of this?
I take your advice. From now on, I'm horny.
Oh, really?
Yep.
This type of game can only exist in VR, if you know what I mean. Truly, technology has peaked by the looks of it, and this is using Unreal Engine, okay? So the graphics here are pretty crazy, pretty, realistic, I've got to say. This game truly speaks for itself for people who want to push their skills forwards and to test their limits as a boss. How much you can do, where is your gentleman chivalry, and all that stuff. And if you make the wrong move, you will be punished for it, let me tell you that, okay? So you do actually need to test your skills, get your game up, and basically become a better man. Expect some office tasks, but basically it's a management game of a relationship as well, a dating sim, okay? So you will get to know this person. Now, some people might be alarmed and say, Savior, have we gone full dystopia? Now, let's face it, we are living in a day and age where people are using ChatGPT to make AI friends. So is this the next step in evolution, or is this a dystopian nightmare? I'll let you be the judge of that. And it is going to be in early access for around 6 months or so, so you can take part in the community shaping and developing this game. So that's something that's actually worth, considering, because early access will be around for a while, so you can actually change this game with development, helping out the devs and stuff like that. It is a small studio, but they are serious about giving you a level of immersion that most dating sims can't, just because it is the VR nature of it, the interaction level of it, and the fact that this game is a graphical powerhouse. I mean, you just have to look at it to see that. The level of interaction of this game is also pretty impressive for a VR game. They are actually, trying to do that immersive quality of, objects having physics, stuff like that. That is pretty cool to interact with. It makes it feel much more realistic. So if you like that just type of kind of job simulator, this might be a game worth checking out, if you're a man of culture, that is.
ぎゅうぎゅうって楽しさいっぱいの毎日が待っとるよね。行ってきまーす。
So I'm going to go into my positives and negatives with my early review, which is coming out today, like I said. So basically, I just want to discuss what actually this game even is, okay? It is a full standalone game, like I said, but basically the only difference here is you have propaganda missions, okay? That's the only thing that they've really added. Also new weapons, of course, because it is in a new setting. You are, a British soldier this time around, so you will get access to cool UK weaponry, even though our weapons actually suck for the most part. It is still pretty cool to do that. And basically the levels themselves are less big, I would say, from what I've seen, but they do have more interactable elements to them. Like I said, stuff that you can shoot down on the enemies, stuff to interact with, sabotage and stuff like that. But the repeatable objective missions, they're all quite similar, and the only thing new is the propaganda mission. And basically what that is you have to find posters in that level to replay that level, a propaganda poster, and then it takes you to a mode where it's all based around score, and it's in a different time zone, and you have to, complete side objectives just like you would in the base game, like sabotage and stuff like that, but it's timed and, it is score based if you care about that type of thing. The same elements from Sniper Elite 5 are here in the fact that there's a lot of customization, which I think that game did really well. It was quite a simplistic skill tree, get more kind of lung capacity and stuff like that, and you can carry more equipment, but still I do like the fact that they have carried on with the customization. They haven't really added to it as far as I can see, but the multiplayer is what makes this game fun. So if you just want more Sniper Elite to play with your buddy, or you just love playing with the settings, because like I said, that's where I get the most fun out of it. You can make it super easy, X-ray vision, dumb modern day AAA gamer type game, which I wouldn't recommend honestly, but hey, it's up to you. Or you can turn everything off and have it super realistic, wind impacting your bullets and stuff like that, and then it becomes a super difficult game where you really have to take your shots and mask your shots with noise and stuff like that. That's why Sniper Elite is fun, because the settings allow for that sandbox nature of changing the experience, which I think is pretty cool. The stories have never been a strong point in the Sniper Elite games, to be honest. I always think they're very boring, the characters are very one-dimensional, and the writing is just meh, okay, I've got to be honest. But no one really plays Sniper Elite for the writing and the story for the most part, okay? It's actually just the gameplay being good. And although it does still suffer from that janky nature, the stiff movement, the way that you kind of slam into cover, it just feels very stiff. It feels very last gen. That hasn't changed. So if you are new to the series, pick up the main game, I would say. But if you're a die-hard fan of Sniper Elite, of course you're gonna love this. But if you're new to the franchise completely, then I wouldn't say that this is the one to, try out first, okay? And for people who maybe enjoyed it but are now kind of getting sick of the formula, this is 100% not worth your time, because like I said, it's just more of the same. So it's only going to be for the core fan base, okay? And I do understand that there is a lot of them out there. I am one of them myself, but at this point I do need something more, to be honest. And this doesn't really give you that, and the AI still is very dumb at times. So yeah, it's, you know, a good AA game, but at this point it feels like they're a one-trick pony, which is kind of sad. So now I'm going to discuss what I think the Sniper Elite Resistance reviews are actually going to be. I think this is finally going to be the game that kind of breaks the camel back, okay? And what I mean by that is I don't think even the die-hard fans are going to be super satisfied with this, because if they just added more to the level design, something, you know, to make this stand out, because they've got the engine, they've got all the gameplay mechanics, there's no excuse, and it's not like there's time crunch or anything left if they've got all the assets, that they couldn't make more interactive levels or change up the gameplay in some way, add more interesting modes. You know, I think some people will find this quite disappointing, so I think it's going to sit at the middle of the road, kind of 6 or 7 out of 10, to be honest, from reviewers who like to do score systems like that, which I think is pretty stupid. And the meta score is probably going to be around that as well, 60 or 70%, something like that, because I do think that they just didn't do enough. And I feel personally, and I think the gaming community also feels this, you know, we are tired of games that are kind of unoptimized, that don't have much innovation anymore, that aren't, you know, taking creative risks, that are just kind of playing it safe, playing into the genres that are already successful and just kind of tweaking them without actually adding anything new. The AA space should be a place to experiment and try out different mechanics, new creative ideas, you know, really compelling storylines that actually make you think and question, that don't have to play it safe. But Sniper Elite, the games have never been about that, and I understand that, but they could do more with the actual gameplay mechanics themselves. And I think, you know, a lot of people, even though it is very optimized, Sniper Elite has always been good with that. It does feel very dated at this point, and it kind of feels, I think the gaming community will be annoyed at how, you know, companies like, I think gamers will be annoyed to a point that developers, you know, behind Sniper Elite and other games, they don't really care about changing the formula. They're just playing it safe, and I think that's exactly what the gaming industry needs right now, is, you know, a step up in creativity and innovation, not just doing the same thing over and over again. I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas around this game, and what, you know, can the industry do right now to kind of you know, allow developers to feel comfortable with taking more risks, instead of them feeling, you know, they have to just do what works, because the industry right now is in a kind of, you know, bad place. You know, a lot of layoffs. The creativity and innovation is certainly lacking, because people are investing so much money into gaming and then they're not getting the returns. So that's why we're not getting creative games anymore on a smaller scale. But there's no excuse for AA studios like this, especially when they already have a formula that works. They could definitely experiment more with it. So let me know what you think down below, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Have a great day. Peace out.